Hi, Sandra here from Create in Spain, and I promised you, well, about a week ago that I would give you a slightly more in-depth look at Liquitex inks. I have a metallic ink colour set that I received at Christmas, and it has 6 inks in it, black, white, and then 4 metallics. Now, a brief word about these inks in that they are suitable for use on fabrics. If you want to do any t-shirt painting or anything like that, you can use them on fabrics and they can be washed. They don't need to be heat set. You just need to leave the item to completely cure for about 4 days, and then they can be washed. As usual, I would recommend a gentle wash and a mild detergent and wash them inside out. They can be used in an airbrush. Depending on which ones that you are using, you might have to dilute them. The black and the white I found will go through a 0.2, 0.25 needle airbrush without any difficulty. The metallic ones are a little thicker and would need to be diluted a little to get through an airbrush of that type. You can put them through a 0.5 needle airbrush, and I would say they're great if you want to use them airbrushing with stencils or for larger areas, for example. As yet, I've not been able to completely get used to them when it comes to doing more fine detail work. I find it difficult not to get spidering or too much tip drive for doing very, very fine stuff. So as yet, jury is out on the fine detail, but certainly for anything that you're doing which is on a larger scale, then fine. Now, I just wanted to show you what some of the colours are like. Black and white I won't bother with, everyone knows what black and white looks like. You can use these for calligraphy, you can use them for stamping. If you want to use them for stamping, what I suggest you do, if you don't have an old stamp pad that you can reclaim, I've got a bubble in there, then I would use a glass coaster like this and just cut a piece of felt to go on the top of it to act as an ink pad. So here is the gold, and this is a really nice yellow gold. Now, I've noticed with these that inside you really don't tend to see the sparkle as much, but if I was to put this outside in the sun, it would be really, really sparkly. Okay, so this is the gold one. I'll put down a couple of other colours. I'll do all the metallics so you can see what all the metallics are like. Just put a drop down of each. So the texture of them, or the consistency of them, with the metallics is slightly like a whipping cream texture, I think, or consistency. Before it's whipped, obviously. And then the black and the white are more of a milk consistency, which is what you would expect to use in an airbrush anyway. So, but I don't happen to have any thinners for them, so I can't really put them through the airbrush for the fine detail work. I suspect if I had a proper thinner, I'd be able to get it to work, but I don't have one yet. So that was the gold. Here's the silver. And so they flow nicely. You could use them for calligraphy. One of the things that I would be very tempted to use them for is if I wanted to have, say, a metallic background for a card design and I didn't have any metallic card. This would be great. Put that in an airbrush, 2 seconds later you're done. And this one, which is sort of like a browny, bronzy colour. I've still got a drop of water in there from my brush. I should have dried it off, really. Let's do that one again. There we go, that's better. And then there's like a a reddy colour, a sort of rusty red. There we go, so you can see what the colours are like. And there is a close-up look. We'll let those dry. Here's a few little stamped images that I did. If this one is a little faint, it's simply because I didn't have much ink put out on the felt pad. And hopefully you can see, particularly on that one, you might be able to actually see the sparkle. So yeah, they do really, really well. Now, I'm thinking that they will be great for accents on cards, card backgrounds if I want to put them through an airbrush, for example. Definitely for stamping, and I think they'll be great for any calligraphy work that I want to do, if I want to do any of that. And according to the box, they can be used for stippling, photo tinting, airbrushing, dry brushing, stenciling, pouring, watercolour, collage, drafting. There's more on this side. With a dip pen, a brush, technical pen, stamping, ink brayer, screen printing, fabric painting, book arts and calligraphy. Now with the screen printing, most of the screen printing inks that I have seen are quite thick, and these are thin. So I think you might find them a little different to work with. But certainly I think for general paint use, these are really, really nice. They do have a good pigment in them. They do provide a high degree of shine, and I think they are well worth the money for a set like that. One word of warning: if you do use it for stamping, use your stamp, put it in water straight away, because this stuff will become quite difficult to remove if it dries. But great for using with an airbrush for stenciling and things. I think you could get some really, really great results with that. And indeed, you don't have to even do a proper stencil. You know how you can use an airbrush with just a torn piece of paper and spray across the edge and get some very, very pretty effects. And I think in the metallics that would look pretty spectacular. So there we go, a quick look at the Liquitex Professional Acrylic Inks.